If it's between me and Tyson Fury who gets to fight Francis Ngannou, he ought to choose me. Because Tyson will beat him for sure, and I won't. That's true. That is 100% true. But he'll make more money fighting against me, even though he has absolutely no chance of winning. And I think what he's after is money. He doesn't care about the chance to win, does he? I mean, what are we talking about here? Well, I think that he probably wants a chance to win, and so I'll give him that chance. Because he has no chance against you, Tyson, and maybe he can beat me. And that's just the truth.
Ooh, all right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So, was gone for a week, didn't do a lot of videos, but there was really nothing going on until yesterday. And now we got a big story, a real big story. And you want to know what that is? That is, what should Francis do? Okay, what should Francis actually do? I've been talking about this for like a year and a half about what he think, like what he wants to do, what he's talking about doing, etc. And now his path becomes so crystal clear that it's kind of shocking, you know, because if I lay this out, and you know what, it's amazing. I'll tell you, it's totally amazing. Is this outcome is that exactly what I said when Chael put me on fan questions the first time, and then that led to me being like, I should just start my channel, and then doing all of this. This outcome is exactly what I said in my very first time being on MMA YouTube on Chael's channel. So we're going to go through that in 1 second. But before I do, let me just say this. If you don't mind subscribing to the channel, if you haven't before, liking the what am I talking? Just like this video if you don't mind. Like seriously, all of my subscribers, please like the video. I don't know if I said this before, but here's the deal. Now, a lot of you guys watch Mexican martial arts, right? Awesome channel. Speaking of which, Mexican martial arts, I have literally emailed you 3 times. You're like, hey, email me here. I've emailed you 3 times. I have real business to talk to you about. Okay? RealJesseOnFire@gmail. That is me. Respond, dude. But anyway, a lot of you guys watch Mexican martial arts. And in case you guys haven't seen what happened to his channel, right? Where he's saying, I'm getting suppressed. He is. Okay? Go look at his view count. And then go back to what happened, where he got strikes on his channel, where he was like, I don't know what's happening. They went and struck I got strikes on my videos, and I don't even understand why. I don't understand why. And so his view count went because he got strikes on the channel, okay? If you guys think that that's not real, I can't stress this enough. It's 100% real. That is what happens. If you get a warning or you get a strike, whatever, they suppress your reach. So go support his channel, number 1. And I also got a warning. You want to know what I got a warning for? I posted a short of 2 homeless guys who got in a fight, and one of the homeless guys apparently used to be like a Taekwondo fighter because he just started doing like spinning back kicks and stuff, and they made it look like Street Fighter. It was like, dude, had the Street Fighter music on it, and it looked like a video game, but it was 2 homeless guys fighting, and one of the guys knew Taekwondo. Neither of them got seriously injured, and I got a community guidelines warning for it, okay? And since then, I have not added, I've gained like 70 followers or 70 subscribers in like 2 weeks, where I usually add 70 to 150 per day. Okay. So I am dealing with the same thing that MMA, Mexican martial arts is dealing with. If you guys please like the video, share it with your friends, comment. That is what helps like kick me back in gear, especially because I just got a warning, but it is happening. Like my numbers are crushed since then. I mean, it didn't help that I was out for a week, but anyway, I appreciate the help. So, okay, so here's the deal. Here is the deal. So let's talk about the history of this Francis Ngannou thing really briefly so that we know what the cards on the table are. Okay, so Francis is going to be an unrestricted free agent as of December. Okay, he has made very clear what he wants. He wants money. He wants a lot of money. He wants to be able to box outside the UFC. He wants health care for the fighters. And I think there was some other thing relating to like what he wanted all the fighters to get, but I might be forgetting. But those are the 3 main ones. Fighter healthcare, a lot of money. He wants to be able to box. He said he won't sign his contract without those 3 things. Okay, so fighter healthcare, I assume, is the one that everybody thinks is a big sticking point. I am going to be honest with you. I don't know how big of a sticking point that is because from a financial standpoint, it's not that big of a number when it comes to just paying for their healthcare while they are active. Okay. We're not talking about like take care of you after your career, but just in terms of like healthcare while they're active, if you do like figure, back into the premiums with the number of fighters there are, etc. But I don't understand because I don't know how that affects their 1099 status, meaning they're independent contractors. I have no idea. I'm not going to weigh in on that. Okay. But the lot of money thing, they can of course work that out, right? The boxing is probably one of the biggest sticking points, and I'll tell you exactly why, okay? There are more than one reason, actually. But the first one, of course, is if they let Francis go box and he makes some outlandish amount of money, all of the fighters, of course, are going to want to do that. Why would they not? You know? And what's the UFC going to say? So let's say that they let it, so Tyson Fury is the one that's on the table currently. That's not the right fight, and we're going to talk about that right now. But let's say that they will let him take the Tyson Fury fight. And let's say he makes $35 million. Okay? So what are they? They're just going to tell. So like when Kamaru Usman goes, hey, I want to box Canelo, and their answer is going to be like, hey man, the reason we let Francis do that is because he was coming up on free agency and you're not. We've got you totally locked in. So we're not going to let you do that. Is that a good answer to keep a good relationship with your champions? Of course not. That would be the truth. But is that something you're going to explain to these guys? Like Kamaru would understand. I mean, I don't know if he would feel very good about it, but Kamaru's like a smart guy. You're talking about, you're dealing with UFC fighters, right? They are savages that I respect more than anything. But understanding leverage and business acumen, probably not a lot of their strong suit. Kamaru, like I said, would probably understand, even if you just gave it to him straight. Look, man, you don't have us over a barrel like Francis does. I'll tell you what. If you fight out the 6 fights or 4 fights on your contract, you're still champion and you haven't signed a new deal after we're going to offer you much more money before then we could talk about it. But, that's just not your situation. And it is Francis's. Francis rolled the dice and put his entire financial future on the line every time that he fought while not signing a new deal, which would be the Cyril Gane and the Stipe fight. And he won both of them. So, are you willing to take that risk? And if not, you're going to have to leave $6 million on the table in order to do it, just to take the risk. So, again, Kamaru would probably understand. But most of these guys would just freak out and it would just make them much more difficult to deal with. But that is the truth. That is why Francis has this leverage. So that's number one, is they don't want to have to deal with all the other fighters coming to them and being like, I want to fight, I want to box. I want to box. Number two. And that, by the way, connected to that is they don't want a bunch of guys trying to fight out their contracts. They want everybody to sign. They want everybody signed. And so they see Francis fight it out and then he has this great outcome. They don't want everybody doing that. Okay, obviously. So that's that. The other thing, and this is the big one. This is a real big one. What do you think the UFC... Dana comes from boxing. Dana is the UFC czar, MMA czar. But he comes from boxing. He knows boxing. He knows the sport real well. What do you think his thoughts on a fucking boxing match between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou look like? Okay? MMA gloves, like I said, my fucking idea, but MMA gloves make the odds worse for Francis, not better. Worse. When I said do it in MMA gloves, I'm talking about the draw factor. I'm talking about how many pay-per-views you could sell to that event. I'm not talking about that's going to help Francis, because it doesn't. That's not going to help Francis. Francis could knock Tyson Fury out with a boxing glove, right? If he's going to land something on Tyson Fury, it's not going to be a stiff jab. It's going to be something that he throws heavy. And if he throws something heavy with a boxing glove, he'll still knock Tyson Fury out if he hits him. Problem is that when you take the gloves off, okay, when Tyson Fury sticks his jab in your face, that hurts a lot more pop on that jab in a tiny little glove, okay? Tyson Fury moves around like someone who is not as enormous as he is, and he has reach that will, dude, so bottom line, Dana looks at this fight, he's like, dude, Tyson's going to dismantle Francis and knock him out for 100% sure. There is no, you talk about Nate Diaz versus Hamzat. If that's a big mismatch, this is that times 10, okay? I want this fight for Francis just because I want Francis to get paid. That's it. But in terms of a fight analyst, he has no chance. He cannot win this fight. Could not win this fight. Can't. Okay. Now, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Francis, while he's in Africa working in a sand mine, there is no chance he's going to be able to even get to Europe, most likely. And certainly if he does, there is a 0% chance he becomes heavyweight champion of the world. It's impossible. That is impossible. Those are much bigger odds than him overcoming and landing something on Tyson Fury. But as a fight analyst, there is no one who has any experience looking at boxing who thinks that Francis can win this fight. Cannot do it, right? So Dana's like, okay, so we let him do this. Why the fuck would we let him do it? Which all it does is just give the impression to the casual fan that the MMA, like the UFC champions are not real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because casuals are stupid. They don't understand that this is not the same sport. They're like, oh, Francis got beat up by Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a better fighter than Francis. Tyson Fury would kick the shit out of anybody in UFC, even if it was MMA. You're all, you fucking moron. No. No, 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 no. No. Now, Tyson Fury is a great athlete. If he did a bunch of training in MMA, he is probably a really dangerous opponent for sure. Because his striking will be out of this fucking world. Teach him how to, defend a takedown pretty well. He's terrifying. But no, that's not what that means at all. Different sport. Casual fan doesn't get it, and it completely devalues the UFC in general. So, of course, they're like, fuck no, we don't want him to do the Tyson Fury fight. But in case you guys missed it, on Saturday, last night, Deontay Wilder fought again. And he murked some dude in the first round. This enormous white dude who looks like Tyson Fury, actually. Murked him, starched him with one shot. And so here's the deal, dude. If you want Francis to box, you have him box against fucking Deontay Wilder, which is what I've been saying since the beginning of time. On fucking Chael's fan questions, the question that I asked that got Chael to respond was, what is your dream fight under any two guys under any rule set? And I said, here's mine. Francis Ngannou versus Deontay Wilder in boxing in MMA gloves. And then Chael, that was my fan question. And then Chael responded, I believe at the time, which was 3 years ago, with Conor McGregor versus GSP, I think, is the one that he said, in MMA. So, again, I've been saying this forever. I mean, if people are looking for like a place to come get good ideas when it comes to this sport, I mean, I don't want to suck my own dick here, but there's a lot of things that I've been saying that people end up doing that they come to it a lot later. My idea for the MMA gloves and boxing, I said, dude, the Mark Zuckerberg, get off me on that, dude. When I did is Mark Zuckerberg buying UFC? And I was like, what everyone should pray for, what you should pray for is that this is going to be VR live VR for UFC, because I've been thinking that since the first time I stuck a VR on my face and I watched a Warriors game in that, it's like an old one because they don't do live yet. I was like, holy shit, when they get this for UFC and they put you right at the top of the cage, it's going to be the most insane experience fucking ever. You're going to feel like you are on top of the cage watching in real life like that. It's that good. It'll be that fucking good. And then boom, 2 weeks later, they're like, and we're doing live MMA on LFA as a test. And that LFA test is going to be fucking awesome. And the reason why they're doing it with LFA is they're testing the technology before they do it on UFC, because once you do UFC, they can't fuck it up. And they're going to be able to charge whatever for that, by the way. And here's the other thing. In VR, you're going to be able to watch with your fucking friends, okay? Well, you know what? I'm going to do a whole other video about that. So, yeah. So anyway, Deontay Wilder against fucking Francis Ngannou in boxing, that's the end, okay? Because that's a fight Francis can win. He can't beat Tyson Fury. He can't do it, dude. But he could potentially beat Deontay Wilder. So there it is. Sign him up and let's do this thing. Love you guys. Peace.